Starting off with the character's name, I chose Richie Valveeno simply because I wanted to choose an Italian-sounding name for the mobster role that I was going to put my character in. And I chose this style simply because it seemed like the most interesting, and I had ideas prior to writing this going into the assignment. The storyline and prompts follow a more monetary or funds kind of approach with the family prompts incorporated throughout the 10. As I was writing this, I had the idea to simply have the character start off in a mob, and then eventually with the market crash, he has to go back, move in with his family, and they have to kind of consolidate their funds as much as possible. Some of the challenges I faced when writing this, in between the periods of the market crash, all the way up to World War II, I had issues kind of finding events that I can incorporate relatively easily into my journals. And then I also had to balance the journal prompts themselves and kind of find a healthy medium in between those two. So eventually I kind of just chose events that seemed to fit the family mold that I was going for. And I also took situations that were happening at the time and incorporated it into those 4 journals that I had difficulties with. What I enjoyed about this project, it gave me a chance to write again. The last time I wrote an original piece was in 3rd grade, which not very good as imaginable. So when I got the opportunity to write this, it gave me a newfound respect for writing and creativity as a whole. So the entry I'll be reading is the very last one, the September 1st, 1939 entry, and then the prompt itself was, what are the most important changes in your life and in the world in the last decade? Number 627. This past decade has been hell for most people worldwide. Some still are hurting from the World War, while others are being affected by the sinking of the American economy. These times have demanded the best from every individual in order to make the best of their situation and carry on living without an empty stomach. As Roosevelt moved into office, the country immediately saw a shift forward in what we now refer to as the first 100 days. Slowly, the American economy crawled out of its hidey hole into a relatively respectable state until the program started to fail. The CCC dying out as the amount of conservative jobs needed decreased, all while democracy was struggling to survive depression. Fascism was spreading across the world to Italy, Japan, even the World War loser, Germany. I mention all this now because the Second World War has just broken out. What I meant to be a joke in one of my earlier entries ended up becoming a sick reality when Germany and the USSR invaded Poland. I can't imagine them European leaders will let this offense slide, most likely offering a swift declaration of war to the doorstep of Hitler. Looking in terms of the American point of view, this could provide us with production jobs, especially with Britain and France needing war supplies. This war could be the very thing that pulls the country out of the decade-long depression, even though that sounds kind of bad. I've decided after hearing this news to hand over the heirloom of the repairing business to Rodney in order to keep him out of the military if I can. Since he won't be joining, I will, in order to bolster the country's forces in case of an attack. I'm considering this the final piece to my retribution. I tore this family up emotionally with the discovery of the job, and it's been up to me these past years to patch the holes back up. Should the country be thrusted into this war, and I happen to die, my family will know that I fought for them and their safety, and hopefully they will accept my deeds as retribution. This will be my last journal entry. As the heirloom business taught me, it's important to carry on the legacy of the family name, and I can't exactly do that if my most prized possession ends up burned or at the bottom of the ocean. This is goodbye.